Hello, my friends. It's time once again for the O Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, CW, and today let's talk about Cody Rhodes. Hey, Cody Rhodes has had quite a road to success. Yes, I did a pun. Forgive me. I'm tired and I'm waiting to work out, so bear with me. Cody Rhodes, I've watched since his debut in WWE all those years ago, so many years ago, and his great run with Ted DiBiase Jr. and Randy Orton as it was a Legacy, I think they were called. What a fantastic angle that was of these, second and third generation wrestlers going around beating up everybody with Orton at the helm, which was always fun because at the time Orton wasn't, I don't think you can consider him that much of a vet. He was maybe a couple years ahead of them, but they were all young guys, all promising guys, and they were doing really good work. And I enjoyed that angle quite a bit. I believe that was the catalyst for the Legend Killer version of Randy Orton. Again, one of the best versions of Orton out there, just beating old people up. But in that mix, Cody Rhodes was making a name for himself, and I think right after that he had the gorgeous Cody Rhodes thing where he was, the handsome guy, and then he got hurt, and then he was wearing that Phantom of the Opera mask, which was always fun. I think that gimmick got over really well because, again, the best gimmicks are, taking reality and turning it up to 11. If you turn it up to 12, it's too much, but 11 is just right. And I think Cody Rhodes did a great job of selling himself as an injured narcissist, wearing this mask to kind of protect himself, but also using the mask to harm people. Like, I think he was headbutting people with that plexi mask, and he started wearing the hoods, and his ring gear was on point. Everything was great. He had great vignettes in that time. And then came what I would think he considered the dark period, which was Stardust. Now, this might be the only reason I wanted to talk about Cody Rhodes. I was a fan of Stardust. Now, why? Because I'm a weirdo, and I enjoyed the strange, like, space nonsense he would spout. I enjoyed the fact that he was working with his brother. I think Goldust is a legend, regardless of how you may feel about some of his gimmick angles, because some of them were weird, like the Tourette's one was strange, but it was fun. Everything Goldust has ever done was fun, and having him sort of take Cody under and then kind of share this strange otherworldly gimmick was pretty fantastic. And I remember telling at Dad's First Time, go check out Dad's First Time on Twitch and YouTube at Dad's First Time. I remember telling him that Stardust was one of my favorite superstars at the time. He was not he was not a big fan of Stardust. I was. I loved his entrance. I loved his moveset, the makeup. When he was full Stardust, when he had the full getup, the full face makeup, I was in. I think his entrance was really fun. I loved his music. Everything about the angle was working for me. I really enjoyed it. I don't think Cody enjoyed it. I don't think it was a big part of his career that he looks back on. I wouldn't say fun. I don't know. I don't know how Cody thinks, but I don't know if he looks back on it fondly. But I know at the time, he was not having a good time, and you can read it on his face. There are a lot of moments, if you are able to go back and watch any Stardust matches, he was miserable. He was not having a good time. And I think he's said in interviews that was kind of like the catalyst. He saw that this was as far as he was going to go in the company at the time. Like, he hit that ceiling, and the ceiling was covered in Stardust makeup, and he was like, oh no, I can't do this forever. And you can tell right at the end, right before he left, that gimmick, when it was running its course, he simply stopped wearing stuff. Like, he was kinda in makeup, kinda not. Like, his gear got less and less like Gold Dusty and more just tights. He just stopped doing it. And he promptly left afterwards, which, was a bummer because I think he was doing really well. But like most professional wrestlers, I think he needed to leave the machine that was WWE to kind of find who he was, supposed to be. And, other performers kind of go to New Japan, or they go to Impact, or they travel and they get, more matches under their belt. They get more belts under their belt. They get more experience. They get more notoriety with different crowds. The wrestling's all over the world, folks. And they come back to WWE a brand new person, like Drew McIntyre. He left. He was a complete. If you go look back at old Drew McIntyre, you're like, that's the same guy that's out here swinging a sword. But Cody got to go out, do dates, do stuff in other territories. Territories. That's the oldest thing I've said so far. And then AEW came, and then he got a taste of what it was like to book, what it was like to be on top of a new promotion, and what it was like to kind of birth this wrestling promotion. And in the process, Cody became like a big thing, like a super big thing for like in like 20. When did AEW launch? 2020. They were doing like independent stuff before that, but in 2020 they launched, and they launched big, and then they just did their thing up until Cody decided to leave. And I think a lot of why he left was, again, that longing for the top spot in WWE. Now, that brings us kind of to today. I'm jumping a little bit over, his great Seth Rollins match when he returned. But the question I think everyone is asking is, one, when is he going to return? Which I think is this coming January, right before Rumble, I would assume. And two, what does that mean for Roman Reigns and kind of the title scene moving forward? I don't know if he's going to jump into the title scene right away. I don't know anything. But I think he's going to pick up. I think he said he's going to pick up where he left off with Seth Rollins, which I don't know if that's the right move, but it might be just like for tune-up. Seth and Cody can put on some bangers, so maybe that is the right move. Just get him back in the ring, get him acquainted with the high, the WWE high level stuff that he's so accustomed to doing. And Seth is a great dance partner for damn near anybody. The man can put on fantastic matches. Definitely had a fantastic year for Seth Rollins in 22. But then, here comes the Royal Rumble. There's going to be a lot of surprises in that. And then there's talk of having maybe Cody going up against Roman in the Mania main event. I don't know. I don't know what's next for Cody, but I think he's definitely cultivated a following. He's built his cachet. His moveset is tight. The man could, put on matches like nobody's business. He's fantastic. I love his finisher too. So it's all great. Everything he's got the total package, right? The tattoo is a little much. I'm gonna say it. You can quote me on that. The tattoo is a little much, but as with anything, it's his. It's on his body, not on mine. So it doesn't really have anything to do with me. The only reason I feel compelled to talk about the tattoo is that when he debuted in WWE, they used their weird 3D VR projections to show me the tattoo all over the place, and I don't know if that was the right move. Anyway, what do you guys think of Cody Rhodes? What do you think he's going to do when he comes back? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to hit the bell so you get notified when new videos go up, or subscribe to the podcast on any and all podcasting platforms. Tell your friends, tell your mama, tell everybody about this 10-minute wrestling podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you more than you know. And remember, I am your friend.
I'm your friend, but if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you. Don't you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah.